Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If it's your first time here, then as always, it is good to see you and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, welcome to our weekend video. Those of you who follow the channel already know we look to upload 2 videos a week. Normally upload a video midweek, normally on a Wednesday. Those videos are normally gameplay related. Sometimes I switch it up a bit, but they're normally gameplay related, either straight gameplay or a bit of an overview of an item I've reviewed here in the studio being used out in the field. And then at weekends, like today, we normally upload on a Saturday, and these videos are our studio videos. We normally cover everything Airsoft, replica reviews, gear reviews, tech, a bit of everything. In our great sport and hobby that is Airsoft. So, with that out of the way, what we're looking at today, let's get straight into it. Well, today we're going to do another replica review. This is a replica that I've had for quite a bit of time. I got one of these when it first came out. The reason I haven't reviewed it previously is it's not one that I've used in the field yet. It's just one that I wanted in my collection. So this one's never actually been out in the field. I've not used it in game. It's just been sat in my collection. But what I have noticed is at a lot of my games recently, at my home site Tazball Airsoft, more and more people are running one of these as their sidearm of choice. And of course, I'm on about the, as you'll already know from the thumbnail anyway, but it's the JAG Arms. It's a bit of a mouthful, this one. TTI JW3 Combat Master. TTI basically stands for Taran Tactical Innovations, which is, well, Taran Tactical is a kind of firearms training for practical shooting, but they also have firearms that they make, which are really the race guns. This particular replica, it was featured in the film John Wick 3. I'm a big fan of the John Wick movie franchise, which is why I wanted one of these in the collection, and also why I never used it in game, because I wanted to keep it looking pristine. So basically, what is it? Well, it's a 2011. You'll hear a lot of people refer to these as high cappers in the Airsoft world. And basically, it's what we would call a 2011 in the firearm world. I'm no firearms expert, but this is what I've gathered. And this particular pistol is primarily designed for race shooting, practical shooting, which is what Taran trains on. You find videos of that here on YouTube. It's a lot of videos from you guys over in the States that tend to do that. Not something we can do so much here in the UK. There is practical shooting here, but mainly with shotguns. Primarily because of the laws regarding firearms in the UK, we can't actually run the firearm versions of these pistols. But this is a faithful replica of said race pistol produced by Taran Tactical Innovations. And a 2011 that's normally found in 9mm has a larger magazine capacity than the 1911, of which this is a similar design. In fact, near enough identical design, but obviously bigger grip, bigger magazine. That's about the differences. But we'll get into that shortly. But needless to say, this is a licensed, authentic replica of the firearm Taran Tactical Innovation Combat Master, as featured in John Wick 3. So you can live out all those John Wick fantasies on the Airsoft field. Especially if you stick a suit on. So I think what we'll do, as always, is we'll have a look at how much you can get one of these for. Now, if you're here in the UK, I've seen these retailing for around about 140 British pounds. So that's the kind of price you're looking at. Now, don't be confused. There are a number of different brands of this. This particular one, if you get the JAG Arms TTI JW3 Combat Master, I'm just going to call it the JAG Arms one from now on. This is actually OEM manufactured by Army Armament. So this one is an Army Armament Airsoft replica. I believe that there is an EMG version as well, which is slightly pricier than this one. And there is also on the scene these days one supplied by ASG. Now, I haven't managed to find out who the ASG one is OEM'd by. So if anybody has more knowledge about the ASG version, let me know in the comments, and it might help other people out as well. So this one is the Army Armament one. So I think what you're looking at when you look at prices is make sure you're looking at the brand that you're after, because they do vary in price. So here in the UK, the Army Armament JAG Arms one is 140 British pounds. I had a look for you guys over in the United States there, over in the US. And in America, you are looking at a price of around about $185. So 185 US dollars. 140 pounds here. 185 US dollars for you guys over in the States there. So, not a bad price. It's not the most affordable pistol in the world, but as we'll go through here, you get quite a bit of stuff for your money. So what we'll do is, I think as we always do when we're looking at a new replica, I think we'll have a quick look round the pistol, and you can have a see what you think, see if it looks like your cup of tea. Okay guys, well there you go. I'm sure you probably agree with me. Personally, I think it's a very pretty looking pistol. I really like the looks of it. Especially with it having that movie connection, with it having the licensing from a firearms manufacturer, and a famous firearms manufacturer in the practical shooting world at that. Used for many training instances in movies. So, you know, gets my vote from that point of view. So let's have a look at the pistol. Now, when you buy one of these, as you can imagine, it isn't going to come in a pistol case like this with those silica gel packets just slung in there. What you actually get if you buy one of these is you get the pistol itself. You get one magazine, which is also licensed by Tyrant Tactical with the extended base plate. So you get the pistol itself, you will get one magazine, and you get an instruction manual. Now, I haven't got the box that mine came into hand, but what I can assure you is the packaging is very good that the JAG Arms TTI comes in. It actually comes in licensed packaging as well. It's got Army Armament written on the back, but on the front it's got the Tyrant Tactical Innovation symbol on the front. So it comes in licensed packaging as well, which is very nice. It's a nice touch. I have kept the box, just don't have it handy. So I keep all my pistols, as you guys who follow the channel know, in one of these pistol cases with a couple of silica gel packs and well lubricated. Because you get a bit carried away with my maintenance, but anyway. So yeah, so that's what you get with the packaging. So ignore this case. This is the case I keep mine in, but they do come in a Tyrant Tactical licensed packaging with Army Armament on the rear. A detailed instruction manual, which is nothing to write home about, to be honest. Got the usual warnings, an exploded diagram of the pistol, which is good. I always like to see that, and obviously details on how to unload the magazines and use the replica itself. But we're just going to have a look, an introduction to this pistol today. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's a high capper here in the airsoft world. Also, could be called a race gun. When we say race gun, as I mentioned earlier, that's all to do with practical shooting, that type of thing. Number of targets if you haven't encountered practical shooting before. And the target's set up at different ranges. There's different openings to shoot through or different positions that you'll have to take. And basically you're timed. It's a time trial on how quickly you can take out those targets. But obviously you're in the airsoft world. We are normally far more interested with shooting our mates with it or playing in games. And as many of you will know, if you've been into airsoft for any length of time, you'll have heard the phrase high capper before. It's possibly one of the most popular pistol variations you can get in airsoft is a high capper pistol. Now me personally, this is the only high capper variant I own. The only reason I own this one is because I liked the Taran Tactical and John Wick 3 connection. But that's not because the bad pistol, it's just I like the 1911. But in airsoft, the high capper has a lot of advantages over the 1911. In fact, the high capper is a better pistol if you're looking from a practical point of view. And the reason for that is because of the double stack magazine having a bigger gas reservoir, being more gas efficient for us, and generally having many more upgrades you can do to high cappers if they're TM compatible. So what are some of the features of this particular high capper? Well, with this particular one, with it being based on the Taran Tactical Innovations race gun, the Combat Master, it has the extended mag release. You could probably make that out on camera. That mag release sticks out a long way. What I have found is though it's not a problem. With some extended mag release on some of the race gun inspired replicas, it's really easy to catch that mag release and accidentally drop your magazine mid-game. So you're got an enemy team member attacking you and you're trying to shoot back and then you accidentally drop your magazine. That's never the best thing to happen. What I can assure you with this particular replica is that this magazine release is quite a good tension on it. So you do have to firmly press the button in order to drop the magazine. You couldn't just catch it and have the magazine drop out. You see, you have to give it a good solid press to get it to come out. So don't worry too much about the magazine dropping on you by accident, but be aware it is an extended magazine release. You'll also notice, as with many race inspired replicas, we have cuts and serrations on the upper slide. These are to lighten the overall weight of the pistol. That will enable you to get on target quicker. It enables the slide to go back and forth quicker because there's less weight in it. So basically just an all-round snappier pistol. That's the idea behind it anyway. And the knock-on effect for me is it looks pretty cool. So you've got those going there as well. Along with the cuts in the slide, it's generally what would be called a skeletonized design. If you take a look at the trigger, that's got cuts in it to skeletonize it. The hammer is skeletonized, it's not one solid piece of steel, and obviously, as we mentioned earlier, you've got the cuts in the slide as well. So it's slightly skeletonized, again, to reduce the overall weight of the pistol, or in the case of a firearm, the overall weight of the weapon. Now, the next thing that you'll see, and is quite obvious, and one of the nicer touches about this particular replica, is the stippling on the grip. It's got quite aggressive stippling on the grip here, and the idea of that is to give you better grip in all weathers, whether it's raining, snowing, whether it's dry, and you have sweaty hands. It's basically designed to give you better grip due to that stippling, and it's also particularly effective at giving you better grip even when you're wearing gloves. Now, I always wear gloves, as you guys probably know, and the feel of this pistol in your hand is really nice. I can't get over that enough. It feels really good in your hand. The stippling does give you excellent grip, so you're unlikely to drop this pistol by accident. Now, as we move on from the stippling, you'll notice one other difference of a standard high capper or 1911. It has this flared magwell. Take the magazine out for a second there. You can see that it's quite aggressive flaring. If you can make that out on camera, when we had a look around it before, it's basically it's nearly doubled in size in the diameter there. But the flaring is very nice. The idea of that is specifically for race shooting. you're trying to do reloads and you're on the clock, so you're trying to reload as quickly as possible, which also helps in game, because if you're in the heat of a game and you're trying to reload, the idea of the flared magwell is it guides your magazine into the pistol grip, so you don't have to kind of look or feel around for a while. It's going to guide that magazine into the magwell and just enables faster reloads. So that's the idea of having a flared magwell on there. Now, as well as that, we have a 20mm rail on the underside here. That 20mm rail would be for torches, lasers, whatever other accessories you might want to fit on there. Personally, I like the look of it without any accessories on there, but I do have friends that run these with torches on there, and they still look really cool. As many of you know, a torch on the underside always looks tactical on one of these anyway, on any pistol. The sights, the open sights, the rear is adjustable, the front is not. The open sights on the rear are very nice. It's a nice big notch, and as you can probably see from the front sight is fibre optic, as they would call it. It's basically to give you better visibility in low light conditions, and it does give you a nice sight picture through the irons when you're looking down, because it does kind of glow in any kind of light, really. So the fibre optic light sights are always an advantage. Some more expensive replicas, you might notice you have fibre optic on the rear sight as well as the front sight. This one, we just have it on the front sight, but still a nice touch. The magazine, as we mentioned earlier, the magazine is a high capper magazine. It holds 30 BBs, which is another advantage of running high capper over 1911, because 1911 is a single stack, but this particular one holds 30 BBs. It's extended design with the Taran Tactical licensed base plate on there, which looks really nice again, a nice touch. Good quality metal magazines, and they hold 30 BBs and a lot of gas. As you can tell, it's quite a thick magazine, it's quite a long magazine, so it has a good gas capacity in there, so you shouldn't have any problems with your gas running out mid-game when you've got one of these loaded up. The trades, as we mentioned, one of the big parts about this replica is the fact that it's licensed. It's licensed by Taran Tactical Innovations. So on this side here, on the right hand side of the pistol, you'll probably notice we have Combat Master and the Taran Tactical Innovations symbol. We also have a serial number below the takedown pin there. On the top of the slide, we have a Taran Tactical Innovations just near the ejection port. And on the other side, we have the Taran Tactical Innovations symbol again, and Taran Tactical Innovations written on the slide. The trades look really nice, guys. I'm not sure whether they'll get scraped off with repeated holsterings and unholstering, or whether they'd get scraped off in the rigours of an airsoft game. I would imagine they would, which is one of the reasons that this, for me, is a collector's piece. I don't want to get it all scratched up. What you'll also notice, that I mentioned before, you've got Taran Tactical Innovations on the base plate of your magazine as well. One thing to note as well, guys, is that it's got this nice rose gold barrel, which is stamped with 9x19 for a little bit of extra realism, because in the real steel or firearm world, this would be a 9mm pistol rather than 45 ACP that you would find a 1911 in, which is what enables the double stacking of 9mm rounds, and again is to assist with race shooting for the 9mm chambered gun. But in our world, obviously we're 6mm BBs, but it's nice to have that 9x19 stamped on that outer barrel. It just gives it a little bit of extra realism, a bit more of a replica to the real firearm. However, the rose gold is nice as well. I think the outer barrel being in rose gold is a nice touch. However, what I have noticed with the limited targets I've shot at with this to try it out, it is starting to scrape off some of that rose gold paint, which is not so good. I'm not too impressed with that. But you can see it more in the ejection port there. It has started to scrape off a little bit, but overall, pistol still looks nice, still looks good. Now, as you would expect with a pistol around this price, it has an adjustable hop-up. Takedown of the pistol is the same as a 1911, if you're familiar with that. Slide the slide back in line with the notch, push your pin out from the opposite side, and the whole upper assembly will come off the slide, and then you can adjust your hop up from there. So it's just a standard TM 1911 style hop up. Hop is quite effective on it. Controls wise, if you're familiar with the 1911 again, you'll be familiar with the controls on this replica. You have a beaver tail safety, as they call it, a nice pronounced beaver tail on this as well. Beaver tail safety, so basically you cannot pull the trigger unless you've got a firm grip and the beaver tail is depressed. You also have a manual safety which can flick up and down, which locks the slide just the same as the 1911. Mag release on this side here, on the left side of the pistol. Unfortunately, I would not class this as fully ambidextrous because obviously your mag release designed for a thumb release there, which is very easy to reach. Feels good in the hand. Construction wise, this pistol is quite heavy because it is a full metal construction. Metal outer barrel, metal magazine. The slide is metal, the frame is metal, trigger metal, mag release. Pretty much everything on this pistol that you can see is metal, with the exception of the fluid magwell, which is plastic, the base plate of the magazine, which is plastic, and the pistol grip, which is also plastic for the stippling. These grips are changeable, however, I wouldn't change it. I like it. I think it looks really good. I think on this particular pistol there is the option to swap over your mag release. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so if anybody knows about that, let me know in the comments. But overall, I think it's designed for a right-handed shooter, as with most 1911s. Everything on there, as I say, is metal, and the weight reflects as such, so it's not the lightest pistol in the world. I believe that the average feet per second that you get out one of these, I'm getting around about 300 feet per second on a 0.2 gram BB. Accuracy wise and range, it's probably similar to many of my WE-G series pistols, or indeed my WE 1911. Similar range, similar accuracy. This kicks slightly harder. Don't know why, because you'd think the systems would be comparable for the blowback unit, but it does kick really well. It's got a good kick with it, good recoil. As I say, it maintains gas, so it's very gas efficient, but range-wise, accuracy-wise, comparable to many other pistols. I haven't noticed it being any better or worse, to be perfectly honest with you. So there you go, guys. If you fancy getting yourself a licensed replica straight from a fairly modern film and go out and live out those John Wick roles in your local game field, then this could be the pistol for you. I like it. I definitely say that I'm happy with it. The only faults I would say that you could be aware of is that the safety is known to go a bit floppy on the back. Doesn't affect the function of the pistol, it just means that that manual safety won't work. I've not encountered it on my one, but I have read reports of that happening. And I know on the earlier JAG Arms ones, there was a lot of problems with the hammer breaking. I think that's been resolved if you get one these days, one of the newer ones. But I know on the series ones, on the early ones, which this is, they did have problems with the hammer breaking, which you can buy replacements. However, you don't expect that with a new pistol. But I think those problems have been resolved from what I've read. So those are a couple of things to be aware of. You can get spare magazines. Paces do stock them. I believe the high capper magazines will work with this, and high capper holsters will work with this. So you've got a wealth of options. There are also upgrades available for this as well. So that's been the JAG Arms JW3 TTI Combat Master. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've just had a quick look over this one in my collection. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like on it. And as I normally mention, if you have been enjoying my series of videos, then do please get subscribed to the channel. That way you won't miss any of my uploads or any bonus uploads I may do at any time, or any changes to the channel. If you want any more content from myself, you can find Rock Bottom Airsoft on Facebook and Instagram. Everything on there from Rock Bottom Airsoft is from myself. Things I've been up to, games, gameplay, videos, photos, and things I might be working on at the moment, and updates for the channel, obviously. So with all that said, Thank you very much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.